Sheridan and the great Ron Rothstein judges there. Coach, thanks so much for the time. We really appreciate it.
My pleasure, as always.
The first thing that came to mind, Coach, the reason I wanted to have you on is Spo was talking about you the other day in his media session, and he was saying one of the things that he's going to miss about not having the games at home is he doesn't get to chop it up with you before every game. Like, that was part of his ritual, that he gets ready for games, getting a little time with Ron Rothstein before the games. What do you guys normally chop it up about? Like, is it personal stuff? Are you guys talking? Are you talking basketball? What are those conversations, those sit downs like with Spo that he's so fond of?
Once we negotiated a price that he would pay me to sit down with him, we'd get into details. but we, listen, the truth is sometimes we talk about non-basketball stuff like family, how the kids doing, how the grandkids doing, how his kids doing, how's the wife feeling. Some nights those are the discussions, and other nights it's, what are you going to do? Or he might say to me, what do you think about such and such? It varies from night to night. A lot depends upon how the team's playing, how he's feeling, things like that.
Now, Coach, a lot of organizations don't have, the relationship that you guys have in the Heat organization, being that most of the people in the building have been around there for a long time, and these conversations are possible, and there's a lot of trust in the building. My question is now that you're not going to have that interaction, or you're not going to be with the guys or able to have these conversations, what is it going to be like commenting on their play without actually having a conversation with anybody?
Leroy, to be honest with you, I don't know. And I guess we'll find out. There's nothing like being able to have, one-to-one contact and, being able to discuss freely, sometimes very intimate stuff, because you trust the person you're talking to. And when you don't have that, probably something will be missing. There'll probably be more I'll miss than he'll miss. He doesn't need me. Believe me, he doesn't need me. To make my broadcast better or my analysis better, I need him more than he needs me. So we'll find out.
We heard from Jimmy Butler yesterday, Ron, about his jump shot, that he's not concerned about it. It's not been there with him all year, but he has been able to still get his numbers and get to the free throw line like crazy this year. Do you think that's something that he could have found in this break? When a guy is struggling with his outside shot, or as good a player as Jimmy Butler, do you think he finds that, or do you think that's just one of those things this year that it may just not come back to him, and he is going to still have to maybe throw his neck at the rim and get to the free throw line like crazy when the season resumes?
Each player is different. But my overall experience in all the years that I've coached, especially in the NBA, is that sometimes it takes a while for guys to get accustomed and have an absolute comfortable feel for their surroundings and where they are. Sometimes the smallest little detail can throw somebody off. And some guys can walk into any situation and just pick up from where they left off. But the one thing that's happened, and the other thing is, I always found that guys, you did most of your improving individually in the off season, because that's when you had time to work on you. Because during the season, most of the time you're working on us, we. And the guys that are willing to put in the work in the off season are really the guys that you'll see improve. But I have to tell you this, without Jimmy getting to the foul line the way he has, this season would not have been the success that has been up to this point.
Now, Coach, I was talking about this earlier. That's one of the signs of a good pro, that, man, my jump shot's not working. I got to go to this. I can still be productive and get my numbers. It's just not going to look the same. A lot of guys won't resort to that. They'll just keep forcing a shot. You hear them say it all the time. I got to keep taking my shot. I got to keep taking my shot. But it's good to see that Jimmy has found another way to make an impact. And although it's not what he's used to, it is a way of helping the team.
I agree with you, Leroy. I really do. I can't remember who said it, but there was a great coach. Might have been John Wooden. Don't mistake the activity for success. Okay? Or, you know, the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over and making the same mistake or failing the same way. Yes, you need to keep practicing. But, yeah, a great pro will not get mired in his own – he won't get caught up in his own stuff. He'll find another way to help the team win. And any good player will find a way to help the team win. So Jimmy has shown true professionalism. He really has. I mean, when they talk about Heat culture made for Jimmy Butler made for Heat culture, it's absolutely true.
We're talking to Ron Rothstein. Now, Coach, I want to ask you that Spo has an interesting mix that he has going into this bubble because he's getting two guys back, really, in Myers Leonard and Tyler Hero, who weren't there for a while. And he's mixing them in with the big trade that they made in the middle of the season with Jay and Andre Iguodala and Solomon Hill. How do you think he's going to handle that? Because, you know, Myers has been very open about, you know, they've had a lot of success with him on the court, and they did. But you also have to have these new guys that you're mixing in. Like it's almost like you know, Bam and Jimmy are still going to be the best guys, and Duncan and Gorham, but like they're still mixing that whole concoction together. What kind of challenge do you think he's facing with that?
Oh, it's difficult. It really is. One of the things that is sort of a given for coaching is that you want to know what your player, you want to know what he brings every night and how he fits in with the mix, how he fits in with the team. When you know that, whether it's good, bad, or indifferent, you can plan. When you have inconsistency in a player or multiple players, it's pretty hard, and it makes it sort of a jumble. I think what you're going to see develop over time, and it's going to happen pretty quickly because there's not a lot of time, Spo's going to try a bunch of different combinations. And really, the player's performance will basically dictate who plays and who doesn't play. You guys have seen Spo long enough. You know, he is not afraid to pull the trigger and make a change. He's done it his whole coaching career, and he'll continue to do that. Players will earn their time or they won't. That's the bottom line.
Before we get you out of here, Ron, and we appreciate the time this morning, have you heard that the coaches do not have to wear suits and ties, that they can wear casual team apparel on the sidelines? Would you have liked this in your coaching career, or did you like dressing up in the suits? I enjoyed getting dressed up because I felt it lent a touch of professionalism to my profession. If it had gone the other way, well, I wouldn't have cared either. I mean, you know, you can be professional. I mean, look, I remember this discussion came up years and years ago at a coaches meeting, an NBA Coaches Association meeting, and a bunch of guys wanted to dress in sweatsuits, team sweats. And I remember the late Chuck Daly standing up and said, "There's no way I look better in a sweatsuit than I do in a suit. I want a shirt and tie. I want my blue suit because nobody ever looks bad in blue." That's fantastic. Coach Ron Rothstein, thanks so much for the time. We're looking forward to seeing you back on the broadcast. Yep. We can't wait for the season to resume, and be safe.
You guys be safe, too. It's always a pleasure to join you. Take care.
All right.
Thanks so much. Love that guy, Leroy.